government decreed unto the people of Ireland. Thus 12 women are exiled every day. The amendment was made law. And we live as criminals. People of Ireland, raise your voices. We are all worthy of our right to choose.
My only memory of ever speaking about it was when one of my best friends got pregnant at 19. And like my first thought was, what are you going to do? As in, are you going to keep it or are you not? And thinking, I'll help you with the money. I'll travel with you. Like I'll help you. I didn't say that, but the implication was there. And that's kind of my first memory of being pro-choice. Some prawn there. Mm. Oh, thanks, Mom.
Oh, seen you. Yeah, there's no food left. Oh,
There's still, even though there's many stories in the media, there's still not enough being spoken about it. So I think if more people could tell their abortion stories and tell them of the pain and anguish that they went through because of having to access abortion in another jurisdiction, as opposed to the pain and anguish of actually having an abortion, if you know what I mean.
The anti-choice side they talk about abortion regret, which is different, but they talk about women suffer after they've had an abortion. Yeah, of course they suffer because they can't talk to people because they have to leave their own country or they have to sit in their bedroom taking pills and they have to go through all of this by themselves. Of course they're going to suffer.
Exactly. It's not easy to to speak up about it because you don't get support, you get judged, you get shamed, you get everything else. Yeah. And even our school system, we're not supported to think critically about these things at all. But I think even at least you see like in the universities there's more kind of pro-choice activism in like all around the country. There's a lot more pro-choice groups in most counties now. There's some kind of pro-choice group setting up. So I think that will change and there will be more space, or there will be at least communities all around the country that women can say, okay, well that is a space where I can be respected or I can speak out.
The idea is when you walk up, those who have booklets, you can hold them like this, if that works, yeah? And then when you get there, you stand and you open them up. And the idea is to hold them about here, okay? So you can read. It's like a prayer book, right? We're kind of taking a piss take on the Hail Mary, so go with that.
Also, I can actually put my hair up.
Sure, if you want.
This up or
the practice run, what we're gonna do is enunciate, so speak from your gut.
When her cancer was in remission, she got pregnant and it endangered her chance of recovery.
A passport out of date delayed her journey more. She never recovered after that. A woman. Feel like that worked okay?
At the end, if ye go higher, for the first one normally they get higher. And then we get higher as well.
Okay, you guys
Higher and louder.
one more time?
And
or
more.
you want
There was one day on Shop Street I had my baby in a sling on my back, and a guy came up and called me a murderer and said, did I think it would be okay to like murder the baby on my back? But then I've learned not to have my kids with me when I'm doing it.
Is that lovely? Is it?
I definitely wouldn't do anything on my own and not have other pro-choice people around me to help, because there is fear. Sometimes we have discussions about our personal fears. Sometimes we have discussions about kind of things we come up against in our own lives with being activists. Recently we had a conversation about how some people are afraid to be too loud, too vocal because of, say, their work. Because some people, if they work for like a state body or something, they feel they can't be a spokesperson for Galway pro-choice because, if their name is in the paper or if they're seen on the street, they might be afraid that their employer, might look harshly on that, or that they'll be kind of, that maybe it will stop them progressing in their career or things like that. At the moment I don't have that issue because I'm at home, but definitely if I was working, I think that is something that would maybe hold me back a little from being as vocal as I am.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking more right there.
We can have information from a little bit of the timeline of the stories that we're going to bring. So some of the examples, if we have lots of stories from the 70s.
It'd be great to get those
90s.
other women's names in the papers again and remind people that this is a legacy of long history. It's not just her. It's not just Savita's death. It's other women's deaths.
Yeah.
I think when Savita passed away, people definitely looked at abortion differently. People didn't see abortion as something that happens to wanton women in their 20s. They saw it as, well, I think some people saw it as what it is, as maternity care, as health care. I think a lot of people, like I said earlier, a lot of people saw that it's something that could happen to anyone. That the fetal heart rate is slowing down, that it's not a pregnancy that's going to continue, and yet there was nothing that they could do about it because of the 8th Amendment. I was angry, I was sad, I was afraid. That was a big one. Fear, because I had just had a baby. Obviously, Savita Halappanavar, it's not an Irish name, but it's not something I ever really thought, oh my God, she's not Irish, she's not Catholic, because to me, she's just a woman who was pregnant in Ireland. She could be anyone. She could have been me, she could have been one of my friends, she could have been a sister, you know, I don't know, that's not something I ever focused on. What I focused on was that she was a woman. She was a woman who was a similar age to me, who was pregnant with her first baby, and I had just had my first baby, so I could really put myself in her shoes. And I was so scared. I was so scared that if I was to have another baby, that, oh God, that something could have happened. Like, that if I was to have another baby and this happened to me, that I'd be leaving my husband and my son. So I think that's what happened with a lot of women my age who were having babies around the same time, is that we totally put ourselves in her shoes and thought, Jesus, this could actually happen to us.
It doesn't feel like there's an option to stop, because we can't stop till we actually get change. Because I feel like there's been a couple of generation of activists who've been fighting this, but this is the first time it feels like we're going to win and we're going to get the change. I don't think there's been that hope there before.
People of Ireland, raise your voices.
We are all worthy of our right to choose